the ceremony. He said to him, I said, okay. He was kind of skeptical about it. He even told his wife, Nancy, I don't think I'm coming back this time. He never believed that they would make his brother Michael a made man. Michael was kind of a smart guy, a wise guy. He just kind of had that attitude, kind of cocky. Never thought that he would become made. Tony had to go anyhow. Tony was under indictment, as always, probably for, who knows, burglary, murder. So he goes to the judge here in town and he says, look, I have to go to Chicago to have some dental work done. The only person I trust in my mouth is my brother, the dentist. So the judge gives him a pass to let him leave town. Catches an airplane, flies to O'Hare Airport, meets up with his brother Michael. This is the last photograph of the two of them taken alive. Leaving O'Hare Airport, Channel 7 in Chicago picked him up. They left the airport in a Lincoln Continental, and they went over to Michael's house. His wife made him dinner that night. That was the last that they ate. Then the boys came and picked him up. Now everything I'm about to tell you was testified by Frank Calabrese Jr., who was testifying in Operation Family Secrets against his father and the other guys. He was there. He just saw everything that happened. He said they picked him up and they took him to a house in Bensenville, Illinois, west suburb of Chicago. They were led down into the basement of the house. This is where the ceremony is going to take place. Michael went down the stairs first, then a couple guys, then Tony, a couple more guys. They, on the way down the stairs, they started to strangle Michael. Tony saw what was happening and started yelling, you guys better not do this, you're going to regret this, you better not do it. Michael didn't put up much of a fight. He went kind of passively. He was a karate expert, but didn't put up much of a fight. Tony, on the other hand, he fought like crazy to the end. The last words out of his mouth were, it's time to say a prayer. The two brothers were beaten senseless. They were then, not to death, just senseless. They were then stripped down to their underwear and they were loaded into the trunk of a vehicle. Two guys were given an order to take them to a forested area in Indiana. They were supposed to take them to this forested area and bury them. They get out to this Indiana forest and they start digging. It's all clay and tree roots. And they go, geez, this is going to take all night. So out of sheer laziness, they said, look, right on the edge of the forest, there's a cornfield. It's all sand. The ground was just turned. So out of laziness, they decided to dig right on the edge in the cornfield. They buried one brother on top of the other, alive. We know they were buried alive. The coroner found sand in their lungs, so they were still gasping for air as the earth was being thrown on top of them. Heck of a way to go. About 2 days later, the farmer, who was very meticulous about his land, noticed that it had been disturbed, started poking around, found a body, contacted the authorities. They came out, they exhumed both of the Spilatro brothers. This is not the original grave that was dug for them, although it is the crime scene. They dug out the whole area around, sifting through the sand for any evidence, anything they might have dropped, possibly other bodies. So this was the crime scene. They were dug up. The Spilatros were never supposed to have been found. That was in June of 1986. The two guys who botched the burial job, who did not bury them in the right place, were both punished. They were both killed for not burying the Spilatros in the right place. Tony now lays in Queen of Heaven Cemetery, which is near Chicago. It's in Hillside, Illinois. And this is Joey Aiuppa. That's the boss that owned the land that their bodies were supposed to be buried on. And one of the guys, Tony's boss, who was just convicted for the murder, is Joey the Clown Lombardo. Of course, that picture's from about 1970, but it's a lot older now. But that's Joey the Clown Lombardo. Now, that was in the late 80s. It's about the same time that the police department out here started working with the FBI department. See, for a while there, they were afraid to share information with each other for fear of leaks like Joe Blasco, dirty cop, other problems like that. They started getting their departments together, working together with the Gaming Commission to enforce the Black Book. If you were in the Black Book, that meant that you could not work in a casino, let alone own the casino. If you owned the casino, you were told you had X amount of days to sell. Let me ask you guys, if you had a business that was making you millions of dollars, you were told to sell, would you? Of course